Hey everybody, it's time for the news. Woman who got break in golf cart DUI jailed after caught back behind the wheel. Nancy Ann Washburn, a woman who got a break after a drunk driving arrest involving a golf cart in 2019 in the Villages, was arrested after she was caught back behind the wheel. Nancy Ann Washburn, 63, of Lawton, Oklahoma, was driving at about 10:30 p.m. Monday on US 301 at County Road 472 with only her running lights operating when she was pulled over by the Wildwood police officer. The traffic stop was initiated at the Pepper Tree Apartments. A check revealed her tag was expired. She had a valid Oklahoma driver's license, but also had been issued a Florida identification card on December 30th, 2019, due to refusal to submit to a lawful test of her breath. Washburn had been arrested in 2019 when a bystander at the Villages of Sunset Point Gate in the Villages determined she was not fit to drive and snatched the key from the golf cart as she was driving. Washburn later entered a plea of no contest to a reduced charge of reckless driving. She provided proof that she enrolled in a substance abuse treatment program in Oklahoma. However, because she refused to provide a breath sample, her driving privileges were suspended in Florida. Oxford man arrested after seeking help for sister who died at Villages Hospital. An Oxford man was arrested after seeking help for his sister who died at UF Health, the Villages Hospital. Clifford Cooper, 53, of Oxford, continued to be held this week at the Sumter County Detention Center following his arrest Saturday by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. Cooper's sister, who was suffering from breathing issues Saturday at their rural home, and he attempted to call 911 but experienced poor phone reception, according to the arrest report. He attempted to drive her to the home of neighbors, but none of them answered the doors. Finally found a neighbor who was home and called 911. The sister was transported by ambulance to the Villages Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Beef O'Brady's bartender arrested in bad breakup dispute with ex-boyfriend. Del Webb Spruce Creeker, once found passed out behind eatery, back in jail. Brian Robert Bassetti, a Del Webb Spruce Creek man with a checkered legal past who was once found passed out behind a popular Summerfield seafood restaurant, is back behind bars. Brian Robert Bassetti, 51, was arrested Monday at his residence at 9497 Southeast 130th Street in the popular Summerfield retirement community. He was transported to the Marion County Jail and charged with contempt of court, and his bond was revoked on a previous charge from February 2020 of obtaining property by means of a worthless check. He was being held on no bond, and his next court date hasn't been set yet. Jail records show. Judge rules on villager's plea for dismissal in public masturbation case. A judge has ruled on a villager's plea for a dismissal in a case in which he stands accused of public masturbation. Judge Paul Melitello on Tuesday in Sumter County Court denied the motion for dismissal in the case of 59-year-old Glenn James Yeagle, who lives on the historic side of the Villages. Yeagle's attorney had argued that his client never intended his actions, which he thought were private, to be vulgar, indecent, lewd, or lascivious. All four are considered essential elements to the crime. The Village of Orange Blossom Gardens resident is facing a charge of indecent exposure in connection with the July 27th incident at an office at the Oakland Hills Professional Center, where he disrobed waist down while wearing an orange polo shirt and sandals, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. While standing at the door of the office exposing his genitals, he began to masturbate. A Ring doorbell sent a backdoor motion alert to the business owner's cell phone. She logged in and saw the man masturbating in real time. Well, what can I say? Villager and guy pal jailed after found sleeping at Bellevue gas pumps. A villager and her man friend from Georgia were arrested early Sunday morning after they were found sleeping in a vehicle parked at the Mini Mart's gas pumps. Bellevue police officers were called to the Circle K, and when they arrived, they were told that the blue Toyota Camry had been parked at the pump with the headlights on for 3 hours. Officer observed 27-year-old Nikita Lee Brockman of the village of Tall Trees, and 31-year-old Ransford Coffee Asmoa of Lawrenceville, Georgia, sleeping in the seats, the police officers report. Lake Sumter apartment homes, woman jailed on DUI charge after crash. Pair arrested after traffic stop by police in downtown Wildwood. A man and a woman were arrested after a traffic stop in downtown Wildwood. Fabian Joko Grady, 34 of Wildwood, was at the wheel of a maroon 2015 Toyota Tundra with North Carolina license plates at 6:07 p.m. Monday at US 301 and State Road 44 when he was pulled over for having a smoky license plate cover which partially obstructed the tag, according to the arrest report from Wildwood police officer. Grady provided the police officer with a false name. However, he eventually provided his true name, which led to the discovery he had previously been arrested 3 times for driving while license suspended. During the conversation with Grady, the officer detected the aroma of burnt marijuana coming from the vehicle. A passenger, 33, old Crystal Marie Harper of Clewiston, admitted she had a clear cellophane bag containing marijuana tucked in her bra. The Utica, New York native was arrested on a charge of possession of marijuana. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting $1,000 bond. Villager's son arrested after allegedly stealing gun from father's storage unit. The son of a couple in the village of Finney was arrested after allegedly stealing a gun from his father's storage unit. Alexander Bartell, 32, was arrested early Saturday morning at his parents' home at 3031 Hicks Place on multiple counts of grand theft, as well as other charges, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Investigation began last week when personnel all aboard storage conducted a walkthrough and found that 2 storage units had their locks cut off and had been burglarized. A review of the surveillance footage showed a black 4-door Dodge Ram pickup truck with Arizona plates pull up to the facility and use the code to enter through the gate. A detective later found in the Bartell's driveway the Ram pickup that had been seen in the surveillance footage at the storage facility. The Utica, New York native was taken into custody and booked at Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $56,500 bond. So my guess is mommy and daddy, not only did he steal daddy's stuff, they also posted this bond to get him out of jail because they couldn't stand little Johnny being in jail instead of in their house where he's comfortable. A wife hiding in the bathroom of her home in the village dialed 911 after her husband split the door in half by pounding on it with his fist. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies were called at 7:05 p.m. Sunday to the New Haven Villas in the village of Hillsborough, where 54-year-old James Albert Hare was arrested on a felony charge of battery on a person over the age of 65. Villager's son with history of arrests nabbed with drugs in traffic stop. A villager's son with a history of arrest was nabbed with drugs in a traffic stop after leaving the Tiki Hut on County Road 466 in Oxford. Richard Brown Street, 41, who lives with his mother at 3158 Gooding Place in the village of Polo Ridge, was pulled over at about 11:30 a.m. Sunday because he was not wearing a seatbelt, according to the arrest report. A check revealed he was driving on a suspended license, and the Washington, D.C. native admitted he was aware of the suspension. A backpack found in the vehicle contained a green case which held needles and scoops with a white powder substance on them. He was arrested on charges of possession of drug equipment and driving while license suspended. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center on $1,000 bond. Street was arrested last year after stealing his mother's Ford Escape from her home a day after his father's funeral. Well, that's classy. She left the car keys on the kitchen counter. Street's father died on January 23rd, 2020, and a celebration of life was held in the villages. Street was arrested in 2019 at the wheel of the same Ford Escape. A woman with drugs was arrested at a barbecue restaurant in the village. A tip was received Friday night that 35-year-old Tara Leanne Howitt of Wildwood, who was wanted on a Sumter County warrant charging her with probation violation, was at Dickey's Barbecue Pit restaurant at Grand Traverse Plaza, according to the arrest report. Moline, Illinois native admitted to police that she was aware of the warrant. A search of her purse turned up clonazepam and methamphetamine. Howitt previously was arrested in 2019 at the Circle K on Main Street in Wildwood when she was found in possession of marijuana. Howitt was arrested earlier that same year after she allegedly keyed another woman's car. I've got a lot of interesting stuff here on letters to the editor about different things, and I'd be glad to do another letters to the editor next week. Put it in the comments below here now, and I'll check on them Friday evening. And if I get enough of them, then I'll do another letter to the editors next week if I can get it out. Community Standards counts on residents to report violations in the villages. I've reported them many times to the John Rohan's office. You know what happens? Nothing. They point the finger this way, that way, tell you that there's nothing they can do. The last one I got was from somebody else that sent me a copy of they got from the John Rohan's office about people using the restroom in the adult swimming pool like it's a public restroom, and they're not even residents here. And I saw the response, and the response was, technically, it said, the restrooms in there is not part of your amenities. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life. I don't know who comes up with this stuff. That's totally dumb. The Community Standards Department in the villages is entirely complaint driven. That's true. I've known that one the day I moved in here, so this doesn't surprise me. But to a lot of you people, it may. You see a lot of violations here according to your district rules. Unless somebody complains about it, nothing will be done. Don't expect somebody to drive around and just look at everybody's yards and things and take notes. That doesn't happen that way. You have to call in or you can email. But remember, in Florida's law, all emails are public record. So if you send them an email, they can use that and maybe even disclose who you are if you don't want to be disclosed who you are. So a phone call is anonymous, and if that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. But you have to report the problem. They will not do it for you. Resident who observed a possible violation should not assume somebody else reported it. Contact Community Standards at 751-3912, and if the violation is verified by a deed compliance officer, staff will begin its process to bring the property into compliance. The following is a summary of many items covered in a declaration of covenants and restrictions. This summary is meant to call attention to some of the major items and by no means is a comprehensive list. Window air conditionings are prohibited and only central air conditioners are permitted. Building repair. Dwellings and structures must at all times be kept in good repair, adequately painted, and otherwise clean. Lawn ornaments. Some neighborhoods prohibit lawn ornaments. Check your individual declaration or covenants and restrictions. Maintenance. Landscaping shall be maintained to provide a neat and clean appearance. Modifications. Alterations to the exterior and the home and lot require architectural review approval. Signage, where permitted. Check your individual declaration of covenants and restrictions for size and location. Due to the diversity of the declarations of covenants and restrictions, it is important that each resident familiarize themselves with their particular set. You can find them at www.districtgov.org. Made a video here not too long ago about exactly where all the district rules are at and how to get to them. If I can find it, I'll try to post a link or something up here. If you've watched my videos, you should have seen that one. And that's where you go get your district rules. Newly opened pizzeria traces its roots back to Sulmona, Italy. Pizzeria has opened a new location at Trailwinds. Beer of the day, sweet tea. Villager facing charge of restroom peeping loses round in court. A village of Chitty Chatty man accused of peeping in a public restroom lost a round last week in Sumter County Court. Ronald Jeffrey Bunt, 64, who was arrested November 10 at his home at 5038 Sanders Street, had hoped that Judge William Hallman III would dismiss a charge of voyeurism he is facing. Bunt's attorney, Gail Grossman, had filed a motion to dismiss the case on a technicality. However, the judge on Thursday ruled against the motion for dismissal during a virtual hearing. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies had been searching for a man who had gone to Lowe's Home Improvement on U.S. Highway 441 in Lady Lake on September 23rd and attempted to use his phone to video a man using the adjacent stall in a restroom. The investigation trail led to Bunt's arrest. Opening date announced for barbecue restaurant at Magnolia Plaza. About time those people down there got some choices. An opening date was announced for a new barbecue restaurant coming to Magnolia Plaza in the Villages. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue will open May 5 at the shopping plaza near the Everglades Recreation Center, south of State Road 44. Sterling Heights Recreation Center will be closed for maintenance. Convicted sexual predator takes up residence in the village of Alhambra. Rental property once again. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the villages, Florida. All they care about is just keeping them places rented to anybody. A convicted sexual predator has taken up permanent residence in the village of Alhambra. Joseph Ramirez, 61, has registered an address at 2526 Pravada Drive, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The property tax bill for the home is mailed to an address in Stonecrest in Summerfield. Ramirez was convicted in 2006 in Osceola County for one count of lewd and lascivious molestation of a victim under the age of 12. This is your neighbor. And a second count of lewd and lascivious molestation of a victim between the ages of 12 and 15. Your grandchildren come down to visit. Keep a close eye on them. He was released from the Florida Department of Corrections in 2019. He will remain on sex offender probation through 2034. He is driving a gray 1990 Mazda 4-door, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. I am so against this. Restaurants in the villages desperate due to staffing shortages. Villager's daughter to appear on Food Network with Martha Stewart. Villager takes wild ancestry journey to find his father and half-siblings. Trendy coffee shop coming to Magnolia Plaza in the Villages. Village of Hillsboro resident celebrates after scoring lucky ace hole-in-one. Congrats, dude. Congrats. I never got one. Like he got it on at the Okeechobee Executive Golf Course. Little pity for villagers scammed by contractor. I don't have no pity for them either. They all want to play dumb. This happens here a lot. You know, they'll do something stupid. They know it's stupid. Then they get caught. Then all of a sudden everybody's, I didn't know. Nobody told me. Come on. You're an adult. 2 people killed after a car crash into trees near Sandy Springs. Remember we talked about that villager that was trying to get a private boat dock built next to his house and so on and so forth, and he was asking for permission, blah, blah, blah. Because it says right here, let me read this for you. Get you up to date on the boat dock. A villager has won the right to build a private boat dock at his $1.4 million home at Lake Meona. Ken Boatwright, that's kind of ironic. He run the right to build a boat dock, and his last name's Boatwright. Never mind. Ken Boatwright of 2373 Bay Point Way in the village of Pennycamp finally sealed the deal Friday with the Community Development District 8 Board of Supervisors. Boatwright successfully negotiated the terms of an agreement with District Council Mark Briones. The linchpin of the agreement with CD8 is that Boatwright will provide a certificate of insurance. Supervisors had been wary about potentially liability that might come with the boat dock, which will stretch over a small piece of the land owned by CD8. He's got his boat dock. I'm glad he did. Mulberry Dog Park will reopen after addition of shade structure. Wildwood woman arrested while on the phone with her probation officer. Lady, you were set up. A Village of Finney woman with a Pennsylvania driver's license was arrested on a drunk driving charge at Seabreeze Recreation Center. It sounds familiar to me. I don't know if I reported this before. Usually I delete them after I report them, but maybe it's somebody else. I'm not sure. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies responded at about 10:30 p.m. Monday to a report of a suspicious person at a recreation center which was closed. A deputy found a red Chevrolet SUV with its engine running in the eastern side of the parking lot. The driver was identified as 71-year-old Mary Borgman, who lives in the Tupelo Villas in Finney. The deputy asked Borgman why she was at a closed recreation center, and she said she was waiting for a male subject she had met at the bar to meet her there. Borgman began to yell at the deputy and demand to know why she was being harassed. The deputy could smell the odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from her persons from a conversational distance through my cloth mask. Deputy asked Borgman to step out of the vehicle amid concerns she could not safely drive. She refused to step out of the SUV and kept rolling the window up while the deputy tried to talk to her. I don't need to go any further. You guys are getting the idea of how not to act stupid. Virginia Trace Neighborhood Adult Pool will be closed on Friday. I think we got enough news right there. I got to edit this and add some pictures and all that stuff for your entertainment out there. So I hope you enjoy it. Hope you like it. Seems to me I was going, letter to the editor. Let me know. Description box below if you want me to do one. I'll do one for next week because there's several different subjects on there that might be interest to you. So with that being said, let me get out of here. I want to get ready for the WNL show that's coming up this next Wednesday. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good time. I'll see you guys on Wednesday Night Live show, hopefully. If not, I'll see you on the other side.